Welcome to Hag
And Zog.
where one makes.
And the other rates.
I decided to expand upon this idea of these D&D style remits. These things remind me of D&D. They're real cool. And they're 1/12 scale, which is the same scale that I have a bunch of parts for Mega Me Device. So I took a Goku model kit because baggy pants are cool for monks, right? And that's what we're making today. We're gonna make a cool monk. Girl punchy power.
Ooh, tasty.
Goku is also 1/12 scale, so I'm gonna check and make sure that it won't look weird to give one of these characters humongous pants, because I feel like that's a really good indicator of kind of like a fighter. Like I'm thinking Link in Breath of the Wild when he has to go in disguise, kind of a thing. Those I think they call them harem pants.
Yeah, like MC Hammer pants.
Yeah, exactly. I think that works really well for a fighter. I think it looks aesthetically cool. So I had to figure out. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I actually really like you. So those. You see them a lot in Asian movies or like in Asian cultures, the tabi shoes, or just shoes where they lace up over the pants and it makes the pants baggy, like around the calf and knee.
Oh, yeah. They're like horse riding shoes or pants. Yeah.
Yeah. That is peak performance
aesthetic.
Peak aesthetic, and the tabi shoe boots that I have do that with my pants, and I love it.
That's awesome.
I think I look so cool.
And I think it also looks really cool, which is why I really wanted to do it. That's really where I kind of started with the inspiration for this, was the pants. I kind of started there, and I was like, all right, I'm going to have to build everything from here. And it kind of what I was doing there was just tooling it so that I could actually make it compatible, because Goku was not nice in terms of compatibility towards these kits. So there was a lot of jumpering and a bunch of different things that I had to do. I also bought this midsection piece in Japan as an upgrade kind of midsection kit. Just a really buff ab middle section piece. And I'm just gluing it down because it is resin on resin, which isn't supposed to be very flexible. And I started to fill it with this two-part epoxy sculpt stuff that I also bought in Japan.
Perfect.
It's actually been pretty good. My only complaint is that it's a little too sticky. It like sticks to your fingers, and then it sticks to other pieces as you're holding stuff. But yeah, and I grabbed some of these 30-minute mission pieces and started gluing it in places.
Did you use water with the epoxy at all? Because I know that it's supposed to be a little like clay and whatnot. And if you use water, you can keep it from being so sticky to you.
I used more oil-based things because it would stay active. I guess is the best word for it. It would stay active on my fingers longer, because water, it evaporates quickly, and then you have to just keep re-wetting your fingers. But oil-based stuff, like the activator that I use for the glue, is actually really oil-based. It also evaporates pretty quickly, but it stays active longer than water. So, and then here I'm just kind of tooling more, just getting more bits. I tore apart one of those upgrade samurai faces from the 30-minute mission kit to kind of just make it look more visually pleasing. And then in the next clip, I'm going to break that off. You'll see it happen, and I'll be very frustrated. But ask your question.
Now, how many... Because I'm aware that, and you mentioned earlier, we're doing 6 of these.
Yeah.
How much kit bashing have you done before this experiencing?
Like minor things here and there. I just kind of took ideas and concepts, and I kind of know how these kits work together. So I just needed them all. Basically, I needed how it worked mechanically to continue to work, because I could kit bash it where it was just a statue. See, I just broke off that piece.
Oh,
frustration is real. But I could have just made a statue. Also, burning plastic and inhaling fumes that will one day kill me. I don't have to worry about retirement then. Yeah, don't do that, kids. This is actually a really bad thing. I would. I took some footage of it. It's in a later video. But yeah, I heated it a little too much. This was my first time kind of bending stuff with plastic like this. But I learned from my mistakes later. If you take it to an oven top, it makes things a lot nicer and not hazardous where you have to just bend it very quickly. But yeah, a lot of this stuff I just kind of learned as I went, and I would do research as I went as well to try to make it work, because what I was going to say is that I could make it into a statue real easy where it just never had to move ever again. But that was the main thing that I wanted from these, is that I wanted them to remain model kits. At the end of the day, I wanted them to still be able to move with greater flexibility and mobility that they would if they were the original kit, you know. And I guess I don't really highlight it that much, but you see that peg in the middle of the waist there? That's just a piece of a sprue. So sprues are 3 millimeters, and most pegs on Kotobukiya kits and Bandai kits, if they're not like one of these figurized figures, they're just 3 millimeters. So you can always just jumper these things through and through. And this, I'm trying to make like a waistband for her to kind of cover up that weird section of just dead space between Goku's legs, or Goku's waist, and her waist. I don't end up using this, but I just kind of wanted to highlight and, you know, trust the process. Just keep trying, and eventually you'll get there, because I end up not using this at all.
I like that trusting the process is just trying.
And I also caught it on fire.
Jesus. Were you wearing your mask during all this, right?
Yeah, I'm not. Okay. I'm not doing this. Like, I'm not trying to inhale all this plastic gunk. I'm already you know, back when I first started doing model kits and stuff, I did not wear a mask, so I'm already a vessel from microplastics as is. So, wear a mask, kids. Make sure you wear protection. Don't be stupid. Work in a very ventilated room. It's important. You can't eject stuff out of your lungs.
Since I moved into my paint room, I've started wearing my mask while painting, and I'm kind of happy to be going back outside, because when I mean, and maybe I should wear a mask, but when I'm outside, I just don't wear a mask, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm fine. And it may come back to haunt me, but it's because like I'm outside. I don't know if I can get more.
Yeah, the fumes still get to you, though. I wear a mask outside even when I'm spraying. Well, I mean, I can only spray outside, but I still wear a mask because I guess it's just like high volume kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And now, so I couldn't get that waistband to work, so instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a form out of this newspaper and then cut it out of some, what they call pla plate, but it's just polystyrene sheet that they sell at like model stores and stuff, usually for trains and such. But I couldn't get that waist to work, so what I'm going to do instead is that I'm going to make it look like the shirt, or if this was like a gi, the top half of the gi is just completely exploded and torn up. In my mind, this character is a Way of the Sun Soul monk, the traditional Dragon Ball Z kind of D&D character, just to kind of pay homage to Goku and his sacrifice of his legs.
Okay,
I still
so
have the top half of that kit, and I didn't do anything with it.
Did you buy him with the intent of breaking him down?
Yeah, I actually got him on sale.
Oh, so, okay.
Yeah, it was really fortuitous, because again, I kind of was mulling around this idea of making D&D girls for a long time, and I just kind of never acted on it. But I don't know, man. I just kept thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it, and I was like, now's the time. And you know what? I'm just going to showcase it to the world as well. Because funny enough, so when I was in Japan, there was a bunch of displays that had a bunch of these Megami device characters that were custom built and had all these cool add-ons and stuff, and they were just on display windows, and they would just have this random person's Twitter or Instagram or whatnot, but there were never any videos. And then you'd go and look at their Instagram and stuff, and they never showed you how they did their thing. They were just like, look, I made a cool thing. I'm like, yeah, but how'd you do it? What'd you do? And looking it up on YouTube and stuff, there's maybe 1-2 videos where somebody goes into heavy tooling and heavy customization of these things. I actually watched exactly 2 videos. There was one with this guy that made like a jester-looking girl. Wish I could remember the name of the guy. And then the other one was a dude that took a Megami device character and tooled her into a character from like an RPG that he was playing. He used like a 3D printer. He went fancy. He did the works, man. It was real cool. But yeah, not a lot of these videos. I don't know if it's just because it's not popular or not. We'll see if, you know, these are our most least popular videos in the channel or not. We'll make 6 of them and take an empirical value. But
yeah, we've got 6 videos on the channel, so now we'll just hit them back to back to back with Megami device, Megami devices, and see if people like them or not. I feel like stuff like this though is really cool because this will be good, and how much of it too. I mean, like you said, you just tried, and I feel like I know with like North of the Border.
I love
who else?
Border, dude, he's great.
Yeah.
Studson Studio,
Studston, Boyline, like they kind of show you what they're doing, and each one of them is just like, this is what I was doing until someone else in their video mentioned to do this, and now I do that and it works better.
Right.
And that's what I feel like so much of it is, especially on YouTube, where it's just like you have to watch. That's pretty nice. That's good. How'd you bend the styrene down? More heat?
Yep, more heat. I just actually, so funny enough with this one, I actually turned it upside down, like counterintuitive to how they're falling. I used the heat and waited until it would bend up, and then I would just quickly make it go down so that it kind of had a more natural falling effect. And here I am regluing the stupid charm back on.
But yeah, so many people, I feel like it's to learn this, and this is a jump that I need to make, where it is just you do it, and then you kind of have to spend and waste a little money. I feel like get the deals on Goku's pants, because it's gonna get busted, and it's just every so often it's like they pull out like the bits box, and it's like I can't.
And see, the thing that that is nice about this like collection that I've accrued. So all of these pieces are extra pieces from the Megami device kits. So they usually come in like 2 forms. They have like a battle mode or whatnot, where it's the girl in kind of futuristic armor and then the girl in an unarmored form. And so what I did is that I just took all of the unarmored form pieces, because I have them all in their armored forms, and I just collected all those pieces. I didn't get rid of them because it was like maybe one day I'll use them for something. And I did. Now I'm taking a wormy dealies here, and I'm gonna make the wormy dealies intersect with each other to make it into a ropey dealie.
Ropey. While we watch you make ropey dealies, I have, I think, 2 high grade and a master grade box of just pieces. I don't have as many Megamine figures as you do. I have the Miku. I have Selecta.
You have that cat girl one.
Yep, the cat girl one. And I think that about everything else I have, that it's just mech stuff. And I kind of want to go in. I've been learning how to draw recently, and I've been trying to learn how to do more mech and futuristic designs. And
nice.
I need to just see if I can't just putting pieces together and just making. And even if they are at first, I'll be pretty happy with that. If they're just statues. Yeah. Even if I can just make a statue look like it works, I'll be happy.
And see, that's kind of where I struggle. I think, like, I don't know, creatively, is with mech stuff. Because this one, I don't know, the characters, fantasy characters and stuff, that one came real easy. Because it's just like, all right, I'll do this. I also did, oh my gosh, countless hours of research. It's not documented on this, but like on the weeks leading up to this, I just looked up images of Dragon Quest characters. I just went to like random generators for fantasy characters and was like, show me monks of this. I would go on to different websites that had people that had. I basically did the AI dump. I was the AI though. I was taking all this art and absorbing it, learning, and this is kind of the brainchild of all that learning. For a while, my phone had, gosh, like you'd scroll through regular album things and then 50 pictures of just random D&D characters. But I'm also making the bottom of the pants look like they're tattered. I'm just kind of pinching, making a wormy dealy and then pinching out, and that gave it the effect of torn fabric. It's pretty cool.
Okay. Yeah, I thought this was just. I thought what you were doing was filling in space between the pant legs and the foot.
No, unfortunately, because of that little spacer piece that I put in there, there's just a little bit gapping. And this was the first one, this was the first one and also the most tooled one. So there's kind of, things that I had to have learned from that. And if I were to do it again, what I would probably do is actually just cement the pieces together so there isn't that much gapping. Mm-hmm. But I think in the end it's not super noticeable, but because I know it's there, I can't unnotice it. So.
Curse you, image-seeking human brain.
yeah, exactly. I learned something really cool about the skin too. So I used the 1500 Mr. Hobby white color, right? And in some of the future videos, I'm going to use just the flat gray, the 1000 gray to base skin. Always use white. These are all the colors I use, by the way. Always use white. Because if you use the gray, it just does the skin color in a very neutral tone, which makes the character look dead. So always use white. In one of the final ones, I guess, if you want to say, because the 5th of 6, I tried something really cool, which we'll get to when we get there. But these Leviscus paints. So this is a brand of paint that I use that's pretty cool. It's Mr. Hobby based, and Leviscus is this line that they made specifically for characters. Like they made the paint to make it so you can make all of your favorite characters with like really bright anime hair and accurate skin colors and stuff like that. And I figured that this monk would probably be outside a lot, training and stuff, so I made her skin kind of sun-kissed. And I think it came out really well. I used this kind of more coppery skin color mixed with a whiter skin color. And I actually liked it so much that you'll see it a little bit later, but I saved it. I saved the mixed concoction because I was like, this is actually real nice.
I'll have to look into that one.
Oh yeah, dude. I
don't have a whole lot of good colors for
skin.
Like skin, yeah. Like I have a bunch of the small little Warhammer things, and I don't have any good. I think I have a little army painter, and it's like skin tone, dark skin tone, and it's like that's not actually good.
I think skin is probably one of the hardest things to get right. It took a really, really long time for me to get comfortable with painting skin the way that I do, with miniatures and with airbrushing stuff, just because I feel like it's really easy to mess up. Because you can get it real close, but something will always be off, kind of a thing if you don't know how to properly do it, I guess. Which is why I really like these Leviscus paints, because they're semi-translucent. So if your base is really good, so if you use a white and then you kind of undercoat with more reds and stuff, when you put that final base on there, it kind of gives the same kind of opacity of skin, where it's like, you see veins, you see imperfections in the skin, and I feel like that paint does it really well if you do it properly. Okay. So it's good stuff. I highly recommend it.
Also,
at least to try it.
What just because I forget, what airbrush do you have again?
I have a Sotar 2020.
Sotar 2020.
Yeah, you can get it on Amazon for like
$100.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
It's a badger? Okay, badger Sotar, yeah.
Did you just? Oh, you just looked it up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude, it's great. Actually, so the tip is unprotected, which is a little weird. I thought it was a little weird, at least.
Mm-hmm.
This blue is really nice. The whole Gundam color line, I really enjoy. But it's an unprotected tip, and man, I've dropped that thing a couple of times, and I've looked, and I haven't bent it yet.
Oh.
So it's a really solid needle.
I'll say I have a needle straightener too. I'll have to maybe in the next video if I remember, or later we can bring it up. But from that Barbados Rex guy on YouTube too, because I watch all of his reviews and what have you. Every single thing he puts out, even if I know what I'm doing to an extent.
Yeah.
He had a thing where he was like, yeah, I have this thing, and he'll go through, because he says he cleans his needle off once a month.
Yeah.
And I'll go back and rewatch that video on how he takes care of his airbrush, and I've gotten to a point now where I've completely changed how I do my airbrushing. How I maintain it. And I feel like it's been, I mean, I was having difficulties, and I complained in that Lucario kit that I was having difficulty after difficulty. And maybe it's more, and maybe it's person to person, but it's like I get done and I do exactly what he does, which is like, if I'm using acrylic, hot water goes in there, I spray it out, hot water goes in there, I dump it, I'll take the needle out, I give the needle like a dunk in the hot water and brush it. And then I have it's like a little grinder.
Real quick, I'm masking this with a silly putty. Fun fact, silly putty is really great for masking off stuff if it's not flat. So, or you could use it, honestly, if you do want a straight line. It works really well as kind of like a reinforcer to hold down things. And I'm going to paint on a leotard on her.
Oh.
Because, so that shirt has like a under part. And I just kind of wanted to make it look cohesive and not like she's just not wearing a mid-section kind of a thing. So it looked better, and it kind of brought everything together in the end. But yeah, you learned a new way to clean your airbrush, and that's awesome because acrylic paint going through these things is not fun.
Yeah, sharpen air, by the way, is a thing. If you do bend your needle tip, because I did bend mine once. Well, I think when I was cleaning it, like the first airbrush I had, that side-loading one.
Yeah.
I got this, and it's like, yeah, you put it in, and it like grinds it straight. It's got like sandpaper inside there, and you just grind it back straight.
I usually just use 2 pieces of wood. So if you put like 2 pieces of wood together, and you put your needle in between it, and you just pull it through, it'll straighten it out, and wood is soft enough. It won't bend it any further, but it'll bend it straight because of the motion of how you're pulling it. That's just how I've always done it. But I have not had to do it for the Sotar, because again, that needle is solid. So there we go. Look at that leotard.
That's nice.
Bam, bam.
Not
a little
bad,
crooked on the back. Yeah, I'll have to kind of clean it up a little bit, but it looks good.
nice little bit of gold here.
Oh yeah, the less superior gold. I got Gaia Notes Starlight Gold, and oh my gosh, dude, probably the best gold. My favorite gold. This gold leaf is really good. It's very yellowy, and it does the effect that I want it to do. It makes it look like a very gaudy gold. But Starbright Gold, man, that stuff's nice. I use it very sparingly because it's so nice, and I'm like, I can't find it anywhere. It's some more kind of like darker metallics. I did not pull out that color, but I actually mixed some of that gold leaf with it, just to kind of give it a shiny sheen. And now more putty, so that I can.
Cool. The Ava series.
Yes, this one too, dude. Gaia Notes.
I hear these Ava ones are pretty good.
Yeah, it's super good. They're very accurate. So I had an Ava kit, and I had sprayed a piece of like one of the shoes, and I compared it to the mold injected plastic, Dude, same shade, same hue, same everything. It was freaking awesome. Super good.
Okay.
But yeah, these.
Yeah, I still have. I don't remember if you got it for me or if I bought it, but I still have a real grade unit 2 that I need to put together. I've had it, I think, for a year and a half on my shelf. Like it's just in my room next to me, and I'm just one of these days I'm gonna have to get around to building it. And I don't know why I haven't, but
Build it. The real grade Ava series is really good. They're real nice. So I'm undercoating here with some purple because I'm going to do the hair in a gray. But honestly, why purple? Why not?
yeah,
honestly, that's kind of like the short and the long answer on that one. Why not? And then I kind of gave the purple as a hue of kind of like burnt fabric on this one. So on the tips, I kind of just lightly glaze over it a little bit, just to make it look like more the shirt exploded kind of a thing. But yeah, the Ava real great series, dude, real good. You should definitely build it.
Did you?
Purple. That's what I was gonna go back
to.
Yes,
right, you were talking about purple.
Oh, so I undercoated it in purple because if you undercoat it in like a harsher color for a lighter color, say black or whatnot, I mean, it works for panel lines and stuff, but for hair, you want to make it look a little more natural. So I used a purple just to kind of give it more of a visually interesting kind of feel, instead of just being like, oh yeah, I mean, black and gray. Of course, it'll transition from a dark to light color. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of give it something different to just make
purple,
it look cool.
Yeah, give it the nice variation there. And
yeah. Here we go. Eye decals.
Oh, no.
I'm just going to have to drown it for a second here. But skin, bam. Look at that. Very nice.
That is a
now
very
I'm
good
going to drown
skin
it
too.
for a second here. Always put your stuff in for at least 10 seconds. 10 seconds.
Oh.
Hold.
Oh.
Hold. All right. We should be good. Once it starts moving around on that paper, it should be all right. I also used a very dirty water cup, and I shouldn't have, because if you're ever doing water slide decals, if you get residue trapped underneath that water or that decal, good luck getting rid of it. Yeah,
I'll keep that in mind. I finally got the other day Mark Setter and Mark Softner.
Yes.
So
nice.
I'm going to try using a water decal, because that ship I did, it came with water decals. I think I mentioned in the video that I didn't use it, and I was going back looking at it, and I was like, man, I really should have used it. Yeah, and tried. I feel like, because I was so proud of it, and I feel like it would just made it look better.
Oh yeah, the details definitely help with these things. Yeah, real time struggle with the the water slide decal. Faces, I feel, are they're a difficult thing. You just got to get the proportions right on eyes. So eyes, well, since you're drawing and stuff, you're kind of learning about these things, but eyes are actually proportioned where they are literally one eye's length apart. So if you're ever putting eye decals on a figure like this, measure out the space of the eye and then put the corner of the next eye where basically the length ends, and it should look somewhat proportional.
Okay. Yeah, I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, this one I 100% just eyeballed, and I just got lucky on this one. I didn't start measuring them out until after the third one, because the second one I was like, man, these faces are kind of looking a little wonky. Am I not eyeballing these properly? So this one, just a good guess, I guess.
I'll keep that in mind. Yeah, I wasn't learning to draw anything fancy. Maybe at some point in time I'll get into doing body, but I mean, that's just like, I strictly wanted to do mech designs.
Nice. Also,
So it's like I'm just learning their geometrics. Her
cowlick.
oh
I made that, and I also her face kept falling off. So the headpiece is resin, and I got that as part of an upgrade kit.
mm-hmm.
And you can't use plastic glue on resin. You got to use super glue. So it can sometimes be a little annoying, but I eventually got it. But her little cowlick broke, and you'll see a little bit later in the video that she has a different type of cowlick, and it's 2 little prongs instead.
Perfect.
Yep. Oh, part separator. This thing.
Yes.
Amazing. Super great.
The best. Yours, I feel like, looks better and might work better than mine, but I'm a big fan of mine.
I absolutely love it. I have not broken a piece yet with it, so I highly recommend if you do not have a part separator, get yourself a part separator. Don't think you'll need one? Wrong. Just get one.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that I'm like, I should just get it. And it's just like, even if I know I'm not going to use it for a while, like the mark setter and stuff, like I should have just gotten one a while ago. Should have just bought it when I was buying other stuff, and I probably would have used it. But
yeah,
oh well.
Just good to have, as I say in Arrested Development, because then you have it.
I've never seen Arrested Development, but yes, absolutely.
Oh man, there's a whole semi-spoiler. There's an episode where they're buying a house right before like the 2008 housing crash or whatnot.
Perfect.
And they're getting a bunch of upgrades to their house, and they're like, yeah, we can get a jacuzzi. We can also get like a shed. It'll work like a second home, because then then we'll have it. Yeah, because then we'll just have it. And this conversation goes on far too long, and they use that as the excuse every single time. It's just because they just have it,
Yeah.
Building it together now, making sure all the joints still work. That is a huge thing that I have experienced before. Make sure you don't paint over joints, because they will break. 100%.
I've been I'm doing a variety of things. I feel like joints are always so complicated to paint, because it's like you have to paint them on one side, and then you have to wait for it to dry,
and then paint the other
side. Bend it, and then paint it again. It's like, oh my lord.
Yeah, I did that exclusively with all of these. The alternative was taking them apart and just taping off those areas, but I feel with how many layers of paint that I did with these things, it was probably just going to be a lot better to just leave it all built.
Yeah.
Especially with the skin. Oh man, that one's
a problem in its own right.
Dude, it was a hassle, but it was a hassle that was ultimately worth it. Because if I had put that back together and then it broke, I would have been very sad. Because I ran through my whole backlog of extra stuff. I don't have any more extra bodies.
Oh.
They're all gone. So 6 is all we got. And then I might have some... I try to build something else with all the other extra pieces, and it's questionable. The last one, I try to make a 7th one, and the 7th one is a testament of... no, you can't.
Oh.
You can't anymore. You've done it all.
You did your best, and now no more.
Yeah, exactly. So, which, I mean, 6 is pretty good. I feel like that's a good start to finish kind of thing. Also, secret. They're all gonna have to go somewhere. So, perhaps you will see that later. Perhaps there's even hints of other characters in this very shot. Maybe. Don't look around too much.
Is it? Oh wait, hold on. I thought I saw something else, but I didn't. I did. It's gonna be the group of Marines.
Yes.
I knew it.
Ah, dang it. The Black Templars. I knew I should have moved them out of the frame.
Can't get around me.
I can't undo it now. The video's already edited to this point. Just close your eyes. I'm just gonna censor them. You're just gonna see a big censor block over them.
Jesus.
We don't need them anymore. Don't look. So, on this too. So I tried to take Goku's fabric bracelet things, and use them kind of like an exit piece for the feet. And this struggle was 100% unnecessary because they eventually just fell off anyways, and then just kind of sit on top of the feet. And I think it looks a lot better that way. So, and really with all the like tattered fabric at the bottom of the pant leg, I guess it makes less sense for there to be a little area where it bunches up. So ultimately, happy accident, right?
Yeah.
A lot of this was Bob Ross in it. Just happy accidents. Happy accident here, happy accident there, happy accident everywhere.
And ultimately, all that matters is that it's a learning experience.
Oh yeah, I mean this I learned a lot from this, and this definitely kickstarted the rest of this group for sure. Lessons learned from the monk travel on to all the other characters in this D&D party, and I'm glad that I kind of did what I did and experimented with what I did. And each one I kind of do a different medium. I try with a different medium.
Mm-hmm.
Like I there's another one where I try with some fabrics. I try with some kind of latex glove. You can kind of see the glove hanging out there on the left. And we'll go over the lessons learned when I get to those points. But yeah, look at that. She stood up on her own, and that honestly made me really happy. When I got to that point, I was like, damn,
Yeah.
this figure is still a figure, and I can still move it around and do stuff with it, which is really nice. Oh, I'm sanding off the paint off of that joint. Just kind of lightly sanding it off so that I don't break the joint up here, which also had paint in it. So I had to scrape it out a little bit. If you use that Mr. Tool Cleaner stuff, that's actually probably a better way of doing it. But I just scraped off a little teeny bit here and there just to make sure that it didn't fight with it too much. Yeah. I did reinforce that joint with that 2-part epoxy stuff, but resin can be sometimes very finicky, so I didn't want to risk it at all. So
that's fair.
Yeah, see, here we go. I'm just using Mr. Tool Cleaner to clean it off. I decided against it.
Do you have any of the paint remover? Because I have some paint remover. Granted, that's some rough stuff on its own.
I mean, the tool cleaner stuff works just as good, and all I'm doing is dipping a Q-tip into it, and it goes a long way. So I don't really need to have a paint remover. I guess I don't need a paint remover right now. It's not bad to have, because then you'll just have it, you know?
Yeah. I think I have some... the reason I have mine was when I was originally having so many issues.
Yeah.
And so I picked mine up to clean my airbrush, but since I'm doing my new thing, I'm doing fine, so...
Nice.
But this is looking really good. I like that.
That resin hairpiece is very heavy. I ended up having to just use a stand for her because she kept falling over, and that is ultimately how her little cowlick broke. So, yeah, I know it was a shame, but it is what it is. Also, the skull that I put at the top of her little shirt is actually the crossbones. The skull that's on the crossbones helmet.
The crossbones helmet.
The Gundam crossbones.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so I got a Gundam Crossbones full cloak master grade forever ago, and that kit is garbage. Sorry, Crossbones fans, but that master grade is also, it's like, at this point, 20 years old. It's a very not great master grade. They were very ambitious with it, but, dude, it's literally like a plastic hand grenade. You cannot move it without it falling completely apart. The only way you can get it to work is just to glue it all together as one giant block. So I kind of butchered some of the pieces from it, and that little emblem was one of them. So.
That's how I feel about Best Girl from
Iron Blooded Orphans?
IBO. Her
Laughter.
kit. Yeah. that it was not. I actually might go through eventually at some point and just tear it apart and do something to make it look it's intentionally torn apart, because it's I tried to put it back together the other day. It like broke on me for one reason or another, and I was trying to putting it back together, and it was just falling apart as I was putting it back together. And I was like, I'm fucking sick of you.
Yeah,
it's like
I absolutely hate it when you spend all this time making a model kit and just out of like either poor design or who knows, like anything could factor into why a kit is just bad, kind of a thing. But especially with that age, like with the older ones, man, they had like screws and stuff, but the IBO ones, they used a softer plastic, so that might be kind of the reason why now it's starting to have a lot of issues. I don't know if it had a lot of issues when you first got it, but that softer plastic, who knows, with time, maybe it just doesn't hold up. But yeah, it's very frustrating to be like, oh, I love this kid. Tries to pick it up, it fell apart. I'm sad now.
Yeah, I don't know.
Give her this little cloud-like pauldron.
Also, I know I've said this before, but I continue to love your stickers.
Yeah, I loved them up until the point where I started using that 2-part epoxy, where it started tearing them off.
Nah!
That 2-part, like I said, dude, it was super sticky, so it would just start pulling off the stickers. I'm like, no, please. Oh, this was a mistake. This was not a good idea. I was real ginger here because I didn't want it to break. Like, oh, please don't do me that way. Don't do me like that. And she's almost completed.
Oh boy, I'm so excited.
Ta-da! But we're gonna cut to some other stuff real quick before we do the final spin around here.
And now to our sponsor.
Our sponsor. Nobody, please be our sponsor. Please pay us money to build model kits.
You don't even.
We'll love you forever. So this is sprue glue, and what this is it is to me a cement with a bunch of sprues locked into it. And what it does is that it makes a plastic, nasty, schlocky nonsense. And what you can do is that instead of gluing something on there, you use the sprue glue and it just melts plastic onto plastic. So you're factoring, or you're like, how do I say this? You're basically building up the plastic with more plastic. This thing takes forever to cure, but it's worth it in the end because her waist joint is now super reinforced. There's some methods where some people put like a pin through a little plastic piece like this, because again, that's just a piece of a sprue that I just put on there, and now I'm using more sprue that has been melted to now fuse it onto another piece of plastic. But this worked incredibly well, and I feel that the reason that people don't do a lot of these major retoolings is because this is going to be a high friction joint. Like that, her waist is going to move a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm going to want it to move a lot. But in order to do so, I had to intentionally break that middle peg and replace it with a smaller peg. And honestly, like the first time I tried to do something like this, it was super frustrating. It never worked. You would turn it and it would break. Honestly, I have an Alex Master Grade, Alex Gundam, and his hand broke. And I've been trying to fix it for forever using similar methods that people use to put it, so like the pinhole vise thing. And none of those things ever seem to work. But this plastic sprue glue stuff, it works amazing. I now have that bottle, and that's all I use it for, is just the sprue glue. So I'm gonna that's Goku's stand also. Oh no! I also painted thing because she kept popping off like that, so I reinforced her a little bit. And you can kind of see on there the 3mm peg, or the 3mm hole and then the peg that's just been kind of carved
Fits
down,
right on it,
sanded
yeah.
off a little bit,
Nice.
and it just goes on. Yeah, and because that piece on the inside of her midsection moves, I can still bend her forward and backwards with very little hindrances.
Nice.
So I really got what I wanted. I remained with a figure. Put her back together, and you can kind of see that she's missing her little cowlick. So
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna make her a cowlick using more polystyrene sheets and more sprue glue, because that stuff worked great. Even though it's technically on resin, I'm gonna glue these pieces on. Omae wa moshinderu. I'm gonna glue these pieces on with super glue, and then I'm just gonna follow it up with the sprue glue so that that base becomes one big chunky piece, because these little polystyrene sheets, they are maybe like 8 millimeters thick.
Yeah.
So they don't have a lot to work with. So in order to kind of build it up, I just put a few dabs of this stuff on there. I'm going to have to eventually repaint it. But I am kind of sad that her original one kind of broke, because I liked the formation of that one. This one's fun. These like 2 little hairs are fun, but I feel like the little curly cute was better.
Yeah. There's something cute about the curly, like, boingy boing.
Yeah, but now she has this little scissor boingy boingy, I guess we'll call it. That has a proper name. I looked it up the other day.
Makes her look more aggressive, though. I feel like if it was springy, it should be softer.
Yeah.
But now she looks like all.
I'm gonna mess you up.
Yeah, hardens the edge of her head. Right, and then with the Goku pants and her supposed to being a monk in the aggressive stance, I feel like that actually works really well still. So,
well, that's good. I'm glad, because I feel like that kind of works in her favor, and that's what I really wanted, is to make her look like she's ready to fight, aggressive. Look at that, bam.
Nice.
And it's actually still kind of flexible too with the sprue glue. So, but here's a turnaround.
What it was before, the pre-broken hair.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only change, really, is that her hair is different. But this was the turnaround that I did before I had to fix her hair. So, what's reading? What's reading there, guy?
It's really good. Lots of creativity. 10 out of 10 for one of the first starts. I like how you used the 30-minute mission there, and yeah, I wish her shoulder piece looked a bit more metallic. That's the only thing that I don't like. That I feel like is missing.
The dark one.
Yeah, her shoulder pauldron. If you had just hit that with like a metal or on something to make it give the sheen of, because it kind of looks like plastic on her.
Oh, really?
So yeah, at least from my perspective here through the screen, it looks like plastic. Doesn't look like metal. So I'm gonna give you a creativity 10 out of 10. You know, the painting could use some work, but it's the first time, so I'll give that one an 8 out of 10. You know, give some leeway here.
All right.
The skin's quality. So, and big titties.
Yeah. Oh no, the dragon is too strong! Who will help? We'll find out next time.